Alright, check. Alright, that surf noise you're about to hear is a plane. That's right, it's a stand-up comedy album. It's going to be in the flight path in San Diego. Yeah, Mike Coppolino, I look like I smell. I look like drugs. Thank you. Alright. Alright, hey everybody, I'm Mike Coppolino, I'm a stand-up comedian, and this is a concept album. I'm actually doing stand-up comedy in a flight path. It's the truth. I'm going to get disrupted by planes the entire time, because I need hecklers. That's what you have to do to be a pro, you know? Anyways, I do have jokes for dogs. Like, one of them will get it. Alright. No. I actually train drug-sniffing dogs for a living. Yeah, because I have extra drugs. It's the truth. Yeah, but I don't work for the cops. I just train them to live in condominiums. Yeah, that pays better, you know? Because condominiums don't have backyards. They got to learn not to, you know. Anyways. So I do that, but I'm here to warn you. If you're going to train a drug-sniffing dog, yeah, don't use cocaine to train them. Don't train your dogs with cocaine because it just trains them to count your money. It's the truth. It's still crap on the carpet. Yeah. Because of all microchips that cocaine's cut with. Yeah. Alright. So hey everybody, I'm Mike Coppolino. I am a stand-up comic. But I get PTSD from listening to my own thoughts. So I've had a pretty, easy life, you know, realistically. Yeah. So anyways. So I spent 7 years, $150,000 getting a master's degree in sociology. Not to brag, but now I know everything there is to know about being an idiot. It's the truth. I spent 7 years getting a PhD in sociology, and all I did was copy everyone's answers. Yeah, they let me do it as long as I paid them. And now I have great jobs. All right. So now the planes are flying a little faster. I guess it's a Friday. Everyone wants to party in San Diego. You know? I actually recorded an album yesterday. I recorded an entire album yesterday in the flight path, but there were irregular flights. So I thought I was going to just get disrupted every 3 minutes like I just did. But then there was a flight every 14 minutes. Because it was all cargo planes coming in. Like they had locked down San Diego because of COVID. I didn't realize that. I thought I was going to get some sort of metronome that annoyed me, you know? But now I'm here and it's getting kind of regular. It's getting kind of regular. Like San Diego just went off the red. They were all locked down in the red because they had 8% positivity rates. But now they went below 5%, so we're celebrating a little bit with a comedy album. Which is a terrible way to celebrate because these jokes are just terrible. Let me prove it to you. So, hey everybody, what's the worst thing about doing cocaine in a bathroom? So you have to smell everything twice as much. Naturally, it's not seeing your kids on the weekend. That's the worst thing about doing cocaine in a bathroom. And I know because I'm a stand-up comic. And it's funny to me because I've seen a lot of tragic stories. Thank you. I'm actually an amateur stand-up comic, by the way. I'm an amateur stand-up comic because I do coke in moderation. It's the truth, but once I actually had a real cocaine problem because all the clubs are paying me in coke. They just paid me in coke. So I got a huge cocaine problem, because I had an ego. So I ended up having to go to an NA meeting. I was totally strung out. So I went to this NA meeting, and I had to wave my paycheck around almost 3 minutes before I got any coke. Because it was my meager savings. Thank you. Alright. So anyways, cocaine, heroin, PCP, what are these? These are nouns. That's nouns to me. Real drugs for me start with bath salts. I think bath salts are great. I think bath salts are the salad of drugs because you never know what you're going to get, But whenever I smoke bath salts, just as a precaution, I always like to roofie my own drink. Yeah, I roofie my own drink whenever I smoke bath salts. Because that way when I get the urge to drop off my willy and jump out a window, I can quit being so impulsive. I can just tamp those emotions down, because they come up. I'm actually the spokesperson for extreme sobriety, by the way. Because I've done so many drugs. Yeah. Like, I've done acid over 300 times. And you can't tell. Nobody can tell I've done acid over 300 times. Yeah? I've done acid over 300 times this year, and it's March. Acid totally doesn't affect me anymore. I've done so many drugs. Yeah, acid just makes me sober. I just wake up thinking, the sky's exploding. How should I dress? Yeah. And then I'm a real estate agent on LSD. I'm actually a real estate agent that does LSD. I sell really expensive homes. Yeah. Yeah, I shake all these people's hands and give my ants and spiders a more successful kitchen to live in. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. I'm actually the spokesperson for extreme sobriety, by the way. I am. I spell extreme with 3 E's. I'm super great at spelling. No capital X's for me. Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes as part of my job, I get paid. I get paid to be the spokesperson for extreme sobriety. Yeah. They actually, they used to pay me to go to pep rallies at high schools, and I would have to tell kids about the evil of the drugs. I would have to tell all these high school kids that drugs were evil, because they paid me to do it. They paid me $300. So there'd be this vice principal that would lead me out, like in a special period during school, and he'd lead me out on stage on a chain, and I'd be up there wearing an orange jumpsuit. And then I had to tell all these high school kids I did a bunch of drugs in a hotel room, and now I get raped in prison. That's to scare them straight. I scare all these kids straight because I'm getting paid for it, But I have to give these kids advice about drugs. I have to tell them drugs are bad. I have to tell them, I smoke weed. Yeah. I smoke weed because short-term memory loss keeps me from remembering constant failure. Because that's a high school thing to say. Yeah. I tell these kids that nitrous oxide kills brain cells. I mean, how would I know? How would I know? I have a tank of it at home. Wherever home is, it's wherever that tank is. You ever throw up on yourself because you're too fucked up to get out of the way? No, me neither. They actually threw up on myself so I wouldn't have to clean my car. I did it because I was smart and I wanted to keep my eyes on the road. Also, the really nice thing about throwing up on yourself while you're throwing up in a car is when you get to your destination, you just step out of your car, you brush off all the vomit, you go right to work. And it's easy because you got to make, you got to be essential to your job. You got to make child support payments. That's how you got to do it. That's what I tell these kids at these pep rallies. Yeah. I tell these kids that, the early bird gets the worm, and you know this because you're ambitious. But I know that the meth bird stays awake. So, in that scenario, who really gets the worm? It's a quiz for kids. Who gets the worm, early bird or meth bird? It's 50% wrong or right. Now, it's actually the early bird, I have to tell them, because they always say meth bird, because they think they're supposed to. But it's always like the early bird that gets the worm, because the meth bird is never hungry. That's right, the meth bird is never hungry. Nobody knows where the meth bird gets his worms, Some people think the meth bird steals his worms from other worms and keeps them in a storage locker. And that's why the meth bird is so thin. That's a joke. I've done too many drugs. My spirit animal is now a Walmart in Akron, Ohio. It's just a Walmart in Akron, Ohio. It just keeps telling me I could do twice the work in half the time. And that's the reason I hate my job. I can't even enjoy unemployment. But if you think that spirit animal is like chaotic and like terrible, you should see my spirit animal. Yeah, my spirit animal has a spirit animal. Yeah, my spirit animal has a spirit animal, and that spirit animal is a Gatorade bottle that's filled with piss. That Gatorade bottle is a spirit animal that's filled with piss, and it doesn't know it's filled with piss. All right. It's the truth. It still thinks it's Gatorade because of all the labeling, you know? And it says, hey, why am I out here on the Spirit Animal Highway on the side of the road? I should be in a fridge. I should be there for drinking. You know? I got a positive outlook. I'm not some negative electrolytes kind of guy. That's what he keeps saying. Yeah, it's really depressed because it's like starting to get some self-awareness. But yeah, if you think that's like crazy, you should see my spirit animal. Yeah, it's a ferret. It's a ferret. Huh. Which makes a lot of sense. Nitrous oxide kills brain cells. Yeah, it kills all the brain cells that get in the way of your job at a gas station. Thank you. Really hitting that note home there. Yeah, hey everybody. I do a lot of drugs, but my favorite drug is Toad. I actually look at Toad to get high. Yeah, because the only drug I know that can't be laced with fentanyl. I mean, it can be laced with fentanyl, but it's a dead toad then, you know? Yeah, and I'm paranoid. I'm totally paranoid because of all the drugs I do, you know? I'm totally sober. Like you all get it. Yeah. But it's my favorite drug because, you know, if some enemy just drizzles fentanyl on it, I'll just say, oh, this toad is dead. It might be laced with fentanyl. Maybe I won't have it. Because who wants to be the first person to die that way? You know, just going to sleep licking a toad. I mean, I lick toads to torture myself. I want to get really high. Like, I want to be hospitalized. That's how high I want to get. You know? And Toad is the best. Toad is actually the best drug because it has DMT in it. And if you've ever done DMT, it's not like acid. Like, no matter how much acid you do, you're always in the room. But when you're doing DMT, you're not in the room anymore. It's just all pastels. It's great, you know? But I hate smoking DMT because DMT has a horrible flavor. And I've done so many drugs, I just have to keep hitting it. Like to get a high. I have to hit the pipe 8 times, you know, to go over the edge. Like to where I can't find my pipe anymore. Yeah, and it's just a horrible flavor. So that's why I lick it directly off the toad's back, you know? Because there's no process. Like, if you lick a toad to get high off DMT, it's already too late. Like, there's no backing off. You got like 30 seconds to get your drugs back in the cage before they run away. It's the truth. They're like live drugs, you know? And they can attack you, too. Because these toads are like 3.5 pounds. They're like big as your hand, and they have teeth. And the venom is part of like their defense mechanism. So sometimes they don't run away. Sometimes they just try to chew off a finger or worse. Because they're hungry, you know? Yeah. But Toad is the best. Because it's DMT right away. Here's another plane. Look at this one. Small. Small and fast and like ruining this joke. Oh, God. Anyways, I do a lot of drugs. Yeah, but I'm trying to think of other drug jokes. Like, you get it that I do DMT, right? Like, I don't know where I am. Like, that's how jokes work. You know, you just like lose place and then you try to find yourself again. Anyways, I think the news is fake because people are holograms. It's the truth. I've done too many drugs. I think I walk past people and I think, oh, these people are too condescending. They can't possibly be real, you know? Especially when I see the news. Yeah. Gotta wait for cops here. Oh, by the way, my new fetish as a comic, is looking suspicious. It's the easiest fetish. Yeah. But sometimes I work at it, like now. I work at it. But sometimes when I go to the airport, I just wear a turban. That's super exciting for me. But then, I just walk around the airport with a turban and a huge boner. But then the cops see me, and they start chasing me, and boy, is that fun. Yeah. And then they catch me, of course, because, it's hard to run when you're jerking off. Ugh, man, these jokes. Oh, so anyways, last week I had a self-deprecation contest. And I didn't win, and I came in first place. Thank you. It's a good joke. It's a kind of a good joke. So I manscaped. That's a great joke, because it's a sight gag. No, I manscape. I do it like a real man. Yeah, I use a lighter to manscape. I use a lighter to manscape because I have extra lighters, because I do a lot of drugs. Yeah. But, yeah, also, it's really cool because, I feel like a real man whenever I manscape. Because it's a skill. It's a skill. You have to know how your hair burns, And at the end of the process, it smells like barbecue, and chicks really dig it. It's super manly, Speaking of news, I saw a news story the other day. I swear it was fake. It was a news story about revenge pooping. They had a full news segment about revenge pooping. And did you know that revenge pooping is a crime? I did not know that. But they passed a city ordinance, and now revenge pooping is a crime. Yeah, it's defined by knowing who did it and knowing why they did it. It's actually a real law. It's a real penalty for it. Yeah. And, I could tell it was a real news story because they trotted a guy out from the city, and it was just some guy wearing a white shirt and a tie, and he was in this great hall, like at the city, and there's a bunch of law books behind him, and this guy was all clean shaven, and he said there was like 137 cases of revenge pooping in the city of Denver last year. That's what he actually said. He said a real number. 137 cases. And I saw that news story, I thought, well, one person could beat that. One person can just crap on 137 expensive cars or something, or screen doors. I didn't think it was all that impressive. But by the end of the news story, I was just wondering if it was a warning or an advertisement. Because I'd never heard of revenge pooping, but now I know that's a possibility in my life. See, I always thought I'd crap on somebody's car someday, but I felt like I was going to have to die and get reincarnated as a seagull. That way I could just crap on people's cars and they get philosophical about it. I always thought like that, but now I realize I can just crap on a person's car and get misinterpreted. Yeah, because I could just crap on a person's car and leave a note. I could just say, nuclear war is way easier than regular war, and leaving in a pile of shit on some expensive car, And people can get philosophical about it, Or they can say 99% correct is 100% wrong, and just leave it on an expensive car. And they would appreciate that, even if it wasn't a seagull that did it. Or danger mudslides. I like that one. That's like a popular one. That could be a popular one if it actually took off. That's why I just expected to happen. I expected that news to be fake. I thought it was just advertising news. So I thought there'd be like 700 cases of revenge pooping in one day somewhere. And they go, oh, it's an epidemic of revenge pooping. Who would have thought? Anyways. Oh, man. Jokes. Anyways, I'm a stand-up comedian. I should just announce it every once in a while. But I haven't been able to do comedy for a year because of COVID. I haven't done comedy for a year, so I just became a mad scientist. That's what I decided to do. I just became a mad scientist. I just started reading a lot of memes on Facebook and thinking they were scientific journals. I just got into a bunch of arguments with people about science. And that's how I became a mad scientist. I just didn't leave the house. Like everyone was a scientist. It's fucking crazy, right? It's like crazy history. But I've decided I'm gonna like make some inventions for evil. I'm not gonna invent a COVID vaccine because it's already done. Yeah, I'm just gonna invent a dog without any bones in his face. Yeah, so people would just feel sad about how cute it is. That's my evil idea, you know? Also, I want to make a Tide Pod that's edible and also able to get out tough stains. That's a mad science idea. Because as soon as they do that, all laundry detergent has to be edible. Because it has to be safe for kids. That's billions of dollars right there and a Nobel Prize. That's what I want. It's a small plane. Look at that. It's all deceptive because I'm on drugs. I can't tell if that's an airliner. I can't hear sounds accurately. Oh, man. So anyways, I also want to make a athlete's foot medication with nicotine in it. That's a mad science idea. And I want to make athlete's foot medication with nicotine in it so that people can get addicted to having clean feet. That's like a $1 million idea. Because people with athlete's foot don't like really commit to like curing it. Because it takes 2 weeks to cure it. And I know because I have athlete's foot. Yeah. I just usually smear my cream on my feet for 3 days. And that's enough of a commitment because it goes away. And say, oh, I'm cured of athlete's foot. That comes back 2 months later like clockwork. Because my whole life is like rigidly timed around athlete's foot. But now I figure if I just put nicotine in the athlete's foot medication, I can just get addicted to having clean feet because I want to smoke cigarettes all the time, but I can't. I'd just be smearing cream on my feet constantly. And it'd be a great product. Yeah. That's a $1 million idea and a mad science idea. Yeah. Also, I want to invent some baby Einstein tapes for fetuses. I want to do some subliminal messages for fetuses. That's my business idea. I want to make these tapes, and I want fetuses to listen to it in the womb. But it's not going to be like baby Einstein tapes. It's just going to be industrial noise metal for fetuses. It's going to be industrial noise metal for fetuses. It's going to be a bunch of Japanese psychedelia for fetuses. And they're going to listen to this like screaming and stuff. And it's just going to shock them into reality. That's what's going to happen. They're going to be ready for the world. Because this is what it's going to be like. That's what they'll think when they get out. And it'll be all peaceful and everything. And they'll go like, oh, now I understand. That's what it's going to be like, though. I want it to be totally educational, you know? Yeah. Because all these kids that, you know, they listen to Baby Einstein and I think they're in the stock market. And they're investing in everything. They're just investing in my poverty because it's all bad ideas. Yeah. So, just industrial noise medicine for fetuses. That's what I want. Industrial noise for fetuses. Just keep listening to it. You know, that's what I'll do. It'll be like part of this tape. Yeah. Also, I want to invent like shock treatment facilities in 2040 to shock fetuses and get all the reincarnations out of them. Yeah. I want to shock fetuses in 2040 and get all the reincarnations out of them because all of these fetuses are going to be products of like 9/11 and COVID. It's like double shocked, you know? Yeah, all these kids are going to be traumatized by COVID and 9/11. So yeah, shock treatment for fetuses in 2040, that's going to be my thing, you know? Get all the bad memories out of there, all the karma, just start fresh, you know? Because it's going to be a dystopian society. Alright. Oh. So I had like a bunch of irregular planes pass by. So I wasn't all prepared for like doing like short jokes. I was going to do long jokes. But I don't know. Did I accomplish anything? I don't know. I don't know if I accomplished anything. Oh. I also have business ideas. In addition to being a mad scientist, I have business ideas. But they're terrible. Like, oh, another plane, but it's a biplane. All right, that's not so bad. No, I'm gonna have like I want to make some Dark Side Star Wars memorabilia. That's what I want to do. I want to make Dark Side Star Wars memorabilia. You know, it looks all aesthetic looking, but it's not. It's gonna look like real Star Wars gear because of all the labeling. But it's just going to be all the severed limbs from the Star Wars series. That's right, I'm selling all the severed limbs from the Star Wars series in bags. And it'll be all official looking, dark side Star Wars memorabilia. Yeah, I'm going to sell Luke Skywalker's original hand in a bag from The Empire Strikes Back. I'm going to sell it for $300. And true fans are going to buy it because they'll think it's like the Bitcoin of Star Wars stuff. Yeah. It's going to be really authentic looking. It's going to have all the weight of a real hand. You know, it's going to be movable. You know, so true fans of Star Wars can choke themselves with the original hand. Because they're all into choking, because that's how they want to be rebels, you know? That's what Star Wars is all about. Yeah. Also, the really innovative part of like selling all this dark side Star Wars memorabilia is the packaging. Because it's going to be totally flexible but hard to get into. Yeah, you can't break into it because you don't want it to lose its value, you know, when you're playing with yourself or anything. You just wanted some Star Wars memorabilia you could hose off and still retain its value. That's what I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell those dark side Star Wars memorabilia stuff, and then all these hands are going to be crawling all over the internet. It's going to be great advertising. Yeah, because Disney will get wind of it. Disney will know I'm selling all these hands because they'll think, where are all these Luke Skywalker hands coming from, you know? Why aren't we making enough money off of this? Yeah. So they'll find me and they'll sue me for copyright infringement. And they'll just sue me into existence. That's my business plan. I just want to get sued into existence because I'm not making enough money. I'm just going to be a spokesperson for something. You know? I'm going to be like Cardi B with that, like, you know, drugging a bunch of, like, Johns and, like, pistol whipping in a hotel room. I'm the guy that likes sell Luke Skywalker's hands until I'm famous. That's right. Yeah. I'll be a spokesperson for, like, smoking cigarettes in bars. That's what I'm going to do as a stand-up comic. It's going to be all high-end and, like, you know, secret. Secret about making money because I don't know taxes. That's the truth. I don't know taxes. I need drugs to do normal things. How would I understand taxes? It's the truth. However, I am a whiz at accounting. Just so you know, that's part of my business model. I'm a whiz at accounting. Like, I have to drop 5 hits of acid to do my taxes. Because I know all the laws. I know all the laws of, like, taxes and accounting. Yeah. Yeah. I ended up claiming an astral body as a blind dependent in 1989, back when it was legal. I did so many drugs, you know, and then the stock market crashed. That's the truth. That was a legal deduction back in 1989. Then they took it off the books. Yeah, but I kept doing it because I love money. You know, I'm on drugs. I need extra money. So I do all my accounting. Yeah. Anyways, I've been audited 3 times, you know, because I live around here and I pretend to have money. And I never really worry about it because I save all my receipts. Yeah, I swear. Like the last time I was audited, this tax assessor came up to me, this tax assessor, and he says, hey, Mr. Coppolino, good to see you. We have a few questions from the IRS about your taxes. Hey, Mr. Coppolino, it says here, you have 19 sole proprietorships. I don't know if you know what tax codes are, but it seems like you shouldn't have 19 sole proprietorships. Also, Mr. Coppolino, you have 44 limited liability corporations. And you have a non-profit corporation that's exchanging currency between Malaysia and Greece. And we don't understand that at the IRS, because what are those economies? Anyways, Mr. Coppolino, what we really want to know is how you could possibly exist on $4,000 a year. We don't understand that with all this business going on. How you could possibly exist on $4,000 a year. And then I looked at the tax assessor and I said, well, you know, how do I even know I'm really here right now? And now I'm in jail. And now I'm like talking to you kids about like drugs. Yeah. Oh man, these planes are going slow. Ugh. Alright. These planes are going slow. Anyways, I've been doing it for like 30 minutes. This is part of a double comedy album. I recorded another comedy album earlier when I was naive, and now I'm like more regular at comedy. But I'm here to let you know that I'm also a life coach because I'm standing in a park. I live in California. I'm standing in a park. I'm a life coach. I have business cards. It's the truth. You gotta charge $60 an hour because people are desperate and need to be disappointed. That's a great life coaching angle because it gets all the disappointment out of the way for only $60. It's great. Yeah. You know. Also, I have a patio. I have a patio. You need to be if you're going to be a life coach, you need a patio because you got to deceive people. And the nice thing about having a patio is the sun moves into the slats in like the patio cover, and your client or victim can feel time move because of the sun. And I think time is worth money, and it's great for all the brainwashing. It's great for all the brainwashing I do when I'm a life coach. Yeah. Anyways, I'm a great life coach. You can tell I'm a great life coach because I do a bunch of drugs. Yeah. But anyways, here's the thing I tell all my victims or like clients, because some of the clients pay well, you know, because they know what good life coaching is. Anyways, here's what I tell them. I tell them, hey, you know, the only thing worse than failure is listening to someone tell you how to be better at it. Yeah, and then I demand payment. That's the first session. Yeah, I charge $60 right there. $60 an hour. But that's the first minute. And they fill out a check, or they don't, or they leave. Or they say, fuck you and your patio, I'm gone. Yeah. But some people stay, and those people I teach sarcasm. I teach them sarcasm for like 59 minutes, because that's how you have to get through in life. You know? Like, sometimes I think people are stupid, you know, and then they get angry because they're telepathetic. That's why I tell people, because I'm a life coach. It's the truth. They recognize it in my face. They see something in my eyes that says, oh, I don't understand. You know, but they don't understand that I do understand. Because I'm a life coach. Yeah. Anyways, before I go, because I'm a stand-up comic, I'm going to give some free advice. Because, you know, this advice is terrible. All right, so first off, if you're going to smoke crack, make sure you do it in a bathtub too shallow to drown in. Like, that's good life coaching advice. All right? Also, if you're planning on smoking PCP, like no one ever plans on it. That's true. But if you're planning on smoking PCP, just remember to turn off your cell phone. Yeah, it's super important. You know, because if you're wandering around Albertsons naked and you're trying to buy ice with a handful of sticks, like the last thing you need is a call from the office to ruin that. 'Cause that's terrible. I mean, that's your time. You know? That's good advice. Also, here's the last bit of advice. If you're microdosing, quit wasting my time and give me your drugs. All right. All right, that was the last interval. That's it. I've done like 30 minutes at a park. I can imagine that. 30 minutes of comedy in a park. It's all done. It's an album. But, yeah, I'm wrapping it up. I guess I'll do like ads because I love making money. But I have books for sale. They are zines. They are $3. They're comic books. They're comic books. They're literal comic books because I'm a stand-up comic. They're just jokes. I sell jokes. Yeah. Come get one eventually after this. Go around and come back. I'll be here for like 10 minutes. You'll be curious about it. I'll have them all laid out. Also, I have albums on YouTube because obviously this is a comedy album on YouTube. But I have like 60 of them because I'm a desperate person. Like, nobody understands comedy anymore. It's amazing. Like, I don't know why. Is it because of COVID? Who knows? It was always like that. Nobody understood comedy because nobody understood how to get paid. But now I understand how to get paid. I just offer comedy for free until they pay me to go away or do whatever. Or be in a room with, like, high-end tequila, which is what I expect from now on. I expect to sell high-end tequila to people because people understand that this is a party, right? It's street comedy in some place, and you should be doing like street drugs like tequila because that's how you get on the street. Do a bunch of tequila. Yeah. But this is the high-end tequila. You can't afford to do enough of this stuff unless you're like super rich and you can afford being fucked up all the time. So if you want to come to like one of those shows, it's like $25 a shot. But you have to buy for the entire round. Like if you're rich, you got to buy for the whole audience. And that's how I get a percentage of it. But there'll be some sort of comedy thing like that. There'll be comedy in an absinthe bar somewhere eventually. Because people like to drink absinthe, who knows why. But I will. I'll do drugs in their parking lot too, and I won't care because it's an absinthe bar. Ugh. Alright. What else do I have to say? That's it. Here's another plane coming. But I'm going to stop right here. Yeah, I'm going to stop. Like, Jesus, I'll find the recorder. I'll find the recorder and stop it in the middle of the flight. Or before the flight. Thank you. I've been Mike Coppolino.